Hey everybody, I'm Doug and I'm going to talk to you today about New Era 5950 caps and stretching and shaping those caps for people that have a long oval head shape. I've got a long oval head shape. It just means that it's longer in this dimension than it is wide. I've just got a brand new Era 5950 with the sticker still on. I'm going to stretch and shape this, and when I'm done I'm going to get it to look a lot more like this hat, which I've already done the shaping to. Put a nice curve on the bill, but more importantly I've got a nice oval shape that fits my head better. When these come out of the store or the package that you got them shipped in, it's a lot more round. It doesn't fit the head very well. You get a lot of pressure across your forehead because the shape isn't very good. So hang on, we'll take a look at how we do this. All right, to get started, we're going to do basically three things to get this hat ready to go and custom fit to my head. First, I'm going to use something called a hat jack, which is basically a hat shaping and stretching tool. This one is made by Killer Hats. You can find things like this on Amazon or Etsy or eBay. Some people make these. The trick is that you want to get one that has a range that is a little bit lower than your normal hat size, because you do have the ability to expand it. As an example, I wear a 7.5 hat. I got a range that goes from 7 1/8 to 7.5, so I can stretch my hat with this. With all these steps that we're going to go through, we're going to use steam and heat to shape the hat. So when I get that on the jack, I'm also going to take it to a teapot or some other steam generating device to stretch the hat. Second, we're going to curve the brim. There's lots of ways you can do this, but my preferred method is to get kind of an oversized coffee mug, and also a quick grip, which you can find at your local hardware store. And we're going to clamp the bill right onto the coffee cup and give it a little steam and heat to keep the shape there. And then lastly, when you want to if you want to get any kind of custom shaping on the crown, some people prefer a little bit softer crown than what comes on a standard 5950. We're just going to use a hair dryer to heat the mesh lining that gives it that structured crown. There's a couple other videos out there that show great technique for that, so we'll review that a little bit. But those are the three steps, basically stretching the hat, curving the brim, and then also heating to give a softer crown. So here we go. Okay, so I've got the hat jack ready to go. It's installed in the cap. I've given it some hand tightness. It's pulling on the cap a little bit. It's flush with the bottom of the cap, and I've removed all the labels from the lid, from the brim, and it's ready to go. So I'm going to just start exposing it to some steam here. Give it a nice even pattern. And this is how we stretch. The hat starts to relax under heat, and the steam helps with the fabric relaxing. The heat really helps with the plastic that's underneath. It creates the hat size, the sizing inside the band around the hat. And the steam really just loosens everything up so that you can keep cranking on the hat jack. So only things to note is give it a little bit of heat, try and do it evenly around, and then every so often just pull it away, give it a couple of cranks to the hat jack, and you just want to be careful that you're not taking it too far. You go until it's tight again, and just be careful that you're not pulling out any seams or creating any damage to the hat. Other than that, you can do this procedure until you feel like it's a good size and shape and you've stretched it. And basically when you're finished with this procedure, you just want to leave it on the hat jack until about an hour, or at least until the hat feels dry from the outside to the touch, and that should retain its shape. We're good to go. So here's a quick before and after shot of stretching the cap. It is now shaped properly for a long oval head shape. If you like a flat bill and high crown, then you're pretty much done now. However, if you want to curve the bill and or shape the crown, you can go ahead and move on, watch the rest of the video. Alright, so for those of you who like a curved brim, next step is we're going to put this on a coffee mug with our clamp and curve that brim a little bit more, get it to take a set. Right now I broke it in a little bit by hand, and what you want to do is once you get this oversized coffee mug going, you want to push it against the rim of the coffee mug and get the clamp around the bill of the cap and try and make sure you got even area on both sides. Right there, right there. And then you just want to make sure that you're pressing and you get a nice conformance of the bill to the coffee mug. Now the good thing about this is we're going to steam and heat this, so it'll take more of a set, and it won't stay this curved, so don't worry too much about the coffee mug, although I do recommend a larger coffee mug. because this will relax a little bit over time. So it's not going to be as curved as you see here. All right, we'll take it to steam and heat now. All right, so we got it locked onto our coffee mug here with the clamp. Just going to give a little bit of steam to this to keep the shape. Again, look back at the teapot or whatever steam device you have. All you really need to do, I'm going to let this whistle a little bit, but just to get that brim, the bill of the cap exposed to that heat and moisture, and just to maintain the shape here. So you just need to do this for a couple minutes, just get it evenly spread, and then we're going to leave this on the coffee mug for an hour or so, or at least until the brim feels dry to the touch. Again, if you prefer flat billed cap, you can skip this step, but this is for curving your bill and giving it a permanent shape. Okay, we got the bill curved, had it stretched. We're ready to take on the last step, which is just shaping the crown a little bit. These structured crowns on the 5950 are a little high for some people's taste. When I curve the brim a little bit, I like to soften this crown a little bit. It's got a very stiff mesh in there, that's called buckram, and you need to heat this with a hair dryer, as mentioned. And then if you go through that process, there's a couple other videos on YouTube that show the same thing. But if you go through this process, you can shape it to your head. So I'm going to go ahead and put it on high heat. Basically, you just want to heat this buckram till it feels hot to the touch. And then I'll get it on my head and show you how to shape it to my head. And this process can be repeated as many times as you need to. Once you feel that get warm through your hands, you'll feel the head getting a little softer in the crown. This is about how long as it takes. As long as your hands feel hot, you're good to go. So I'm going to try it right now. Basically, just put the hat on, get it into your normal wearing position, and give it a little pressure with your hands. So it might feel and look a little funny, but you just want to hold it there until it starts to cool down. And then you just need to let it cool. Then you can check your shape after you take your hands away. Biggest thing to note is that when you flatten that crown a little bit, the material is going to need to go somewhere, so you might get a little bunching of fabric right there. But other than that, you can repeat this procedure as much as you like. And finally, here's a before and after of the whole cap. You can see how we've curved the bill from when it started out flat, and also how we've softened the crown a little bit. So there's 3 steps on how to shape your 5950. Hope you enjoyed the video. We'll see you soon.